around that time. So whatever weekend that tends to be. So I want to really encourage people to do that. Now, phases, stages, levels of biofields. Basically, Dr. Rochelle and I designed this workshop to help people get the most out of understanding some of the key core concepts of network care that are usually completely foreign to people when they come in. So I'm going to start with them and just move through them one by one. The first one, levels of care. You hear us talk about there being basic, intermediate, and advanced care. And what does that mean? It's not like skiing lessons where you're like a beginner, intermediate, advanced, like, you know, even though it's similar. But like, what does that mean for your body and what's going on with your body with that? Now, basically, those terms refer to the types of adjustments or force applications that we're applying to a person's body, number one, and number two, the type of response they're having in their body. Now, years ago in networks development, network care has been around for about 30 years. In networks development, in chiropractic, there didn't used to be different levels of care, a distinguishment in terms of person's progress. There was just adjusting people and an adjustment protocol. But when there was a major research study done for people receiving network care at a University of California Irvine Medical School in about the mid-1990s, they characterized about 3,000 people receiving care and their changes in well-being, which is one of the largest studies ever done in any healing art for people's self-reported retrospective changes in their quality of life. It's actually the largest that I know of in any healthcare discipline, which is pretty amazing feat to have done. And it was done in about 300 different offices, and then the data compiled this neurobiology department. And when they calculated all the data, a couple key things. One, people had dramatic improvement in their quality of life across the board, from their physical state, their emotional state, their ability to handle stress, and just their overall quality of life. In scales that no other study that they've taken the same study and tried to reproduce it for different nutritional products and lifestyle changes and other types of chiropractic care. No one has ever been able to reduce the same kind of quality of life benefits ever, and using the same study design. And you've done smaller scales, like 100 people, but no one's been able to do 3,000. Number two, they also noticed that, very interestingly, that they broke down the people that were in the study, the 3,000 people, to how long they were in care. Some were in care 1 to 3 months, and then another range was 3 to 9 months. 3 to 12. 1 to 3, 3 to 12, and then 12 to 36. And they graded or calculated how much quality of life improvement did people have in the first 3 months, 3 to 12 months, and so on. And how did that compare? Was it different? They found people were having changes in their quality of life and well-being as early as 1 to 3 months, which is very clinically significant. Also, they found people 3 to 12 months had a marked, it was almost triple the improvement of quality of life as the people that had care in the first 3 months. Okay? Then, the people that were in care beyond 12 months, 12 to 36 months, had an even larger improvement in their quality of life. It was like triple the 3 to 12 month people. And this was very fascinating to the neuroscience department at this medical university. And what they said was that they've never seen that in anything in any healing art. And that's a bold statement, but that's exactly what I said. No healing art has ever been able to produce where people, they said statistically, mathematically, had shown no upper level of improvement. They were still improving at the 36-month mark. And they said this is particularly unprecedented because relative to healthcare, or understand most things that are called healthcare are really disease care. Okay? They're just masquerading as healthcare. Most things in the disease care model, CDC said this in 2008, we said something like $2.3 trillion on healthcare, and they said less than 5% of it was spent on keeping people healthy. Okay, so very little of that 2.3 trillion was on keeping you healthy. So here's the thing: most of the things they said that people will do for their health, the longer you do them, the more diminishing returns and the more dangerous they are. The majority of things you do for your body, okay, in terms of the whole disease care system. All right, so that's remarkable. Next thing they said was, well, let's look at this data another way. and I'll read this off this chart because it's kind of complicated. They said, well, let's break this down as to comparing these to other studies that were similar. People that had network care, people that didn't have network care but made lifestyle changes, like healthy lifestyle choices, like maybe not having alcohol or having less meat or doing yoga or a whole range of different healthy lifestyle things. And let's compare the degree of quality of life improvement in that group versus the people that had just network care but were not doing other healthy lifestyle pursuits. And then they had a third group that were doing both, which is probably a good idea, okay, to take care of your spine and do other things to take care of yourself. But what they found was the people that did just healthy lifestyle, health practices, exercise, yoga, risk reduction, not smoking, nutritional practices, their lifestyle or wellness quotient was number 0.222. It was like, there's a numerical thing, 0.222 in terms of their wellness quotient. The number basically meant like 2 hundredths, thousandths? I don't know. It's 0.222, whatever the number means. Here, you'll get what I mean in a second. Then the people that had network care, they said, how much did they improve their quality of life? And the number was 0.429. So in other words, it doubled. Without doing the healthy lifestyle practices, just taking care of their spine with network care, their whole health quality of life picture improved double what it did doing all those other things. Double. Numerically. And what that meant was that if you think about it, you could bend yourself into your yoga pretzel, not eat anything that tastes good, and take all kinds of supplements, and you still would only have half the benefit of just taking care of your spine. Research-wise, mathematically. Okay? Third group, the ones that did both, which I think is a smart idea, okay, in the first place. All right? Those that they calculated was 0.654. In other words, that was better than the people that just had network care and triple the people that just did the lifestyle things, which is a very interesting thing. So why are people doing healthy lifestyle practices, then add on it taking care of their spine? Why would that triple their benefits in terms of their quality of life? Because all those things they were doing for themselves, investing in that are valuable things to do, maybe supplements, maybe different classes, etc., there would be the benefits that they could receive for them were literally being shunted by the problems in their spine. And when their spine and nerve system was improved, it actually enhanced the benefit of those other things. Which is, again, nothing else in healing arts has ever been able to show that or demonstrate or publish that that's exactly true. So sometimes people will say to us, well, instead of getting my network care, I'm going to take more supplements. Well, you know what? You're going to have triple the benefit of those supplements if you got your spine healthy. Which is, again, from a University of California Irvine Medical School. So one of the things that came out of that study is they said, well, why are these people beyond 12 months having such drastic changes in their quality of life? What were some of the characteristics that they had? And they broke that down to realize that those people had two things going for them clinically in those 3,000 people. The people that were in care beyond 12 months, one had the respiratory wave move through their body, which is the breath wave that we see move through their body, and I go through that in depth in that other workshop, but basically breath moving from your lower spine up through the middle of your back and up to your neck. Number two, they had the somatopsychic wave, the body-mind wave of the muscles moving the spine in a rhythmic motion, so the body starts using the brain starts being able to use the nerve system to make the muscles move the spine. Now, a lot of times when people are sitting and waiting and they've never seen that before, and they see people moving on the table, I've had people tell me this week, that kind of scared me, made me feel uncomfortable. Well, that's the purpose of the care, is to have people's bodies start to be self-correcting, and that involves a movement. Right? People's spines got more and more subluxated and distressed because they didn't move, and their body continued to hold on to physical, chemical, emotional traumas more and more, and then block off areas of their body. So what happens is, those two factors were the biggest determining factors for their quality of life changes.